Preacher episode 2C. Now, I definitely think this is a cool episode, coming off of the premiere, which, of course, introduced all our characters. We got to see kind of who everybody is. We have, of course, Jesse, who's this guy trying to be a preacher. We have the little flashbacks of his dad who was killed when he was really young. We haven't really gotten any info on that yet. I thought that would kind of be something that continued on through the series until we just got an explanation. But that actually went away. There was none of that. He was preacher in this episode. He was being a preacher. He was doing his thing. And here and there he had his little, I don't even know if I can say demonic, but demonic sounding, powers express themselves. And I like that. So we have Jesse kind of doing his thing. He's being a good preacher. He's getting more people in, and it's just normal for him. And then he has Tulip, who's still trying to get him to do whatever this big plan is. Like, she even talked to someone in this episode. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen, whether he decides to join or not. And I feel like it's going to kind of end up coming to the town. So who knows what that means. But, like, something's going to be happening with that big mission. It's not just going away because he doesn't want to do it. And even if he really does decide he'll never do that, I still feel like it's going to end up coming to them. And he won't have much of a choice but to kind of go all out. So we have that going on. Then we have Cassidy, who has a pretty crazy episode because he has to actually save Jesse from the two guys who I still don't know what the deal is with them. And I knew, so they have their fight scene, which I really loved. I thought the fight scene was great, and it's just crazy and gory, and Cassidy is just basically drenched in blood, which is perfect for him. But we have these two guys. They open up this music box. They play this song. He puts a little coffee, a big coffee can on the preacher's stomach. So I guess that it was supposed to like fly out of his belly button or something and like kill him, and they extract it into a little can. I don't know how that was supposed to play out. I was very curious, but for whatever reason it didn't work, and so basically it was like, alright, plan B, we got to cut it out of him. Of course, Cassidy decides he's not going to actually steal the car, so he comes back and he finds him. He thinks that they're just vampire hunters looking for him. Crazy fight scene. He chops one of the guy's arms off. I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. So as soon as that happened, I thought back to the first promo, which is the skinnier guy, he's sitting on the toilet, the bigger guy's in the tub, and the skinnier guy's on the phone. He's like, we had a minor problem and stuff like that. So that was the first thing that came to mind after he chopped his arm off. So I instantly was like, are they clones, or do they regenerate, or what is the deal? And by the end I have the same question, because they show up with the deputy at the end of the episode. They're just sitting on the bed like nothing even happened. So it's really hard for me to tell if they're clones or not, because I would assume Cassidy would be able to tell, like, man, this trunk is lighter. They didn't even throw that dialogue in there, like, oh man, this trunk feels way lighter, but it's still super heavy because it's a giant trunk. They didn't have anything like that. So I don't know if they like healed up or came together, or like reformed, their bodies like reformed inside the trunk, and they popped out and then just closed it and locked it back up to make it look like nothing happened, or what the deal is. I seriously can't even guess. Like, they're either clones, they regenerate, or they like teleport or something, which I don't know. The teleportation thing I don't think is too crazy, because they were in Africa, then they went to Russia, and then they made it all the way to Texas from Russia in like a day or something. Or I guess they may have been in America, because they had the thing in the first episode, like, oh, Tom Cruise exploded and all that stuff. So they were probably somewhere, in the country already. But I don't know, it was just like, man, they're kind of getting all around fairly fast, because in the first episode they make it seem like it's maybe 2 days. It takes a lot more than just 2 days to go from Africa to Russia and then all the way, to America. It takes more time than that. So I don't know, maybe it was about 2 to 3 days, so maybe it lines up, but something weird is going on with them. I don't know what it is, but obviously they're going to have an interesting second, confrontation when it comes to Cassidy, and it's like, pretty sure I, hacked you guys up with a chainsaw and, buried you guys in a trunk. So that was a cool scene, for sure. I definitely enjoyed that. We got to see really like the progression of Jesse in this episode. I really loved, and I was so excited by the end of the episode when he like went to the guy, which I thought was really cool. They did that really early on. Like, he saw that bus he was going to go to him. I think that was only like 15 to 20 minutes into the episode. He saw that bus and was like, all right, I'm going to go destroy this guy. But it was like, first attempt, Tulip took his steering wheel. The second attempt, she like tased him by putting, excuse me, she put the seat in the middle of the road and then tased him and knocked him out. So he was trying to like beat this guy up for a long time. And he finally just had his opportunity at the end of the episode, and he realized that he had that power. And, you know, I was so mad at that, and I didn't realize it was the end of the episode. And he was like, you know, open your eyes, and then it cut off. I was like, oh, crap, like, that sucks. And plus, I was watching it online, so I don't know if they kind of show what happened in the preview or not. But I didn't realize I was, like, at the very end. I was like, oh, that sucks, because I was really excited to see if it would work with him being calm, or if it only works when he's like enraged. And that's obviously why they left it off that way. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens, you know, in this next episode. But I think this was definitely a fun one. We got to see kind of the aftermath, and you know, we got their introductions. We get to see exactly what's going on. Tulip, like I said, is still doing her plan. She kidnaps him, and it was really funny. So watching that scene and he gets knocked out, I assumed it was the guys at first. That's what I thought. And then he wakes up, he's changed and everything. As soon as she opened the thing with the mask, I was like, that's definitely Tulip. And then she walked out, I was like, well, like, it's obviously her now. And he's just like, come on. Like, and she's like, oh, you know, trying to play the game and stuff. But it was really fun. We got to see a little bit extra of the world as well, because we got to see, for whatever reason, the whorehouse is important. So that's a place now. We meet I think the madam is the name. So we get to meet her. I don't remember her name, of course. We get a lot more of the sheriff's, or the deputy's son, and I wish I could remember his name because I know he's like an important character in the show. But you know, we get a lot more out of him. One thing I noticed is that I feel like in this they changed like the makeup for him, because I thought it was like a much smaller mouthpiece when they did the first episode, and it looked much wider in this one to me, because it looked like it was like a really like tiny little hole in the first episode, or not like tiny, but it looked really small. And I'm like, it looks much wider in this, so maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I just noticed it. But he was in it a lot more, and you know, talking with Jesse, like, hey, trying to deal with, you know, his issues, and how he tried to commit suicide, and how he thought he could hear God, and maybe he just wanted to hear God. And so, you know, he's still going through with stuff like that, and I'm excited to see what they do with his character, because I know in the comics he's one of the main characters, so I'm really curious where his, you know, like, kind of where his path is supposed to go. But I definitely enjoyed this one. It was not as crazy, of course, as the last one, because the last one's like, here's everybody, here's some of the craziest stuff ever. We got bazookas made up with moonshine, and, you know, a vampire jumping out of a plane. So of course it's not like insane. It's a fairly grounded episode, but I still enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one. Like I said, I hope, you know, I would love to see the powers work, and then he tries to use them for good, but maybe that just doesn't work. Maybe he's still bad, or even if it is good, maybe the people just keep coming after him, kind of like with Cassidy, where the people just come after him. You know, he's a vampire, it's like, gotta be bad, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So maybe that's what will happen with whatever this weird organization is. I mean, we've only seen the two guys so far, and who knows what's going on with that. And then another really weird mystery about this episode, I kind of completely skipped over it, but the beginning of this episode was really weird, because it's like, what is happening? Like, why is it I think it was like 1881, if I remember right, or 1891, one of those. It was the 1800s. So it's just like, what is going on? Like, why does this stuff matter? It's this random guy. He's doing a random mission for this mother. At first I thought he might have been the father, or at least related to them or something, but I think he was kind of just like a courier. So the woman is singing a song, which I don't believe was the same song, because I was trying to remember, because I wasn't paying attention when she was singing in the beginning, and then the guy started singing the song at the end. I was like, is that the same song? So I don't really know, because I never went back to check. But she's singing the song, and he takes off. It's just this random dude. He's just, you know, on a horse, meets these people. This guy, his dad, just, you know, he kind of won't shut up. So he keeps talking. Then the guy finally says, like, you know, this isn't paradise. Like, it's not. The world kind of sucks. And they show the tree and everything, which is, I guess it was supposed to be important, because of course he went to the town, and the tree that he was at, where all those dead people were, is the tree Cassidy was at when he was burying the two guys. So that was like kind of the big symbolism, like, this is what's happening. So I don't know if it, like, I just don't know what the deal was with that. I don't know if it was just symbolism, but I'm assuming since they spent like, a very silent, well, not silent because of the dad, but very stoic 5 minutes on this guy, something's going on with that. I don't know what it is, but either he did something in the past, or maybe he's just not even dead. I have no idea, but clearly something's going on with that guy. So maybe we'll get more flashbacks. Maybe he's not dead, and we will get to see him in the present. Like, he dealt with this weird spirit thing before, which I thought might be plausible, but then it made me wonder, like, why would, if it was on Earth, if it got defeated, why did it, like, shoot off into space for hundreds of years and then come back down and stuff like that? So that could still be the case, because seemingly it's a sentient sort of thing. It does look for a host, and it does speak and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe maybe this guy defeated it before and it freaked out. I was like, I got to go off to other galaxies or something crazy. I don't know, but it just made me wonder. Like, he has to have something to do with it. It's not just symbolism for the tree where they had a bunch of people hang, and then symbolism with Cassidy burying two guys in the trunk. So something's going on with it. I don't know what, but nothing really happened in that little moment that had anything to do, that tied in with the rest of the episode, outside of the symbolism of the tree, where it's like the dead tree or something. So outside of that, there wasn't really any connection to the rest of the story. So there's got to be something going on with that. I don't know if we'll get more of a clue in the next episode. I would hope so, but it was just the craziest introduction. I'm like, okay, this random thing's happening. I just don't understand it. I didn't get it at all. This is just some guy, and we didn't even see his journey. Like, he basically rode his horse. Dad kept talking. This country actually kind of sucks. Dead people on a tree. One dude had a scalp out, and that was it. And then they showed the sign. He went to town. I was like, okay, well, all right, that's it. So something's got to be going on there. I don't know what to expect from that, but I was curious for sure. I was like, that was a weird opening, because just nothing, like, no info, even throughout the rest of the episode, really nothing extra about this guy. So I am looking forward to getting some answers on that, because I think we're going to be getting answers. Otherwise, that was just a really random scene to show us. So I assume it has to have something to do with the rest of the story, much more, than, like I said, with just, oh, there's the tree where the dead people were, and now there's dead people in the ground. So it's got to be more than that. I really hope so. Otherwise, that was a waste of time. But I feel like something weird is going on there. But I'm looking forward to it, especially with this show. Like, how far are they going to get with the supernatural stuff? And one of the questions I had when Cassidy was fighting the two guys, I was wondering, like, did they know about vampires before that? Like, there were just a bunch of questions, like, because clearly they're involved with supernatural stuff, but sometimes in shows where it's like, oh, someone's involved in supernatural things, they don't know about, like, literally every single supernatural element. It's like, but vampires seem fairly simple. It's like, if you believe this crazy spirit from outer space, you gotta know about vampires, right? So it just made me wonder, like, do they know about vampires before that? Did they not know about them? I'm assuming they did, because, like I said, if they know about this crazy space ghost figure, they'd have to know about, like, vampires. That's so simple. It's like, that's like basic supernatural. Ghosts, vampires, werewolves, you have to know that, and, like, voodoo stuff. So looking forward to their next interaction, and I'm definitely looking forward to Jesse figuring out that Cassidy really is a vampire, because of course they're drinking, and like every TV show, they have the drunk conversation where it's like, oh, I'm like this super magical thing. It's like, ha ha, you're so funny, because we're drinking, and they don't believe him. But I'm looking forward to him finding out that he's actually a vampire, and how that's going to play out with him having, like, this supernatural power, and whether or not that may or may not translate to him controlling Cassidy to do evil things, if this power takes over him. But enjoyed this second episode. Definitely want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, least favorite parts. I definitely want to know what you guys think about Jesse actually recognizing the power within him, because that was not at all what I expected to happen in the second episode. I figured that wouldn't happen for quite a while. I figured it might happen this season, because I don't know how many episodes we have, but I thought maybe like episode 4 or 5, then he'd finally recognize it, like, holy crap, I have this ability, which kind of normally just comes out through rage. But by the end he recognizes it and he tries to use it for good to help this girl wake up. So, you know, I don't know how that's gonna play out, but I'm definitely excited for it. I'm glad that that happened so early, and I'm assuming that means we have shorter episodes because normally it's like if you have less episodes, we actually get to see just a rapid story. Like it doesn't really they don't do all that extra padding and stuff for fillers and crap like that. So maybe we only get like 6 to 10 episodes, which makes sense for first season. But definitely know what you guys thought about him actually recognizing the power so early on in the series compared to you know season 2 or something crazy like that where it just takes forever. But I also want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.